I've been building AI for customer support in software companies for a bit over 3 years now. And this is how I helped one of my clients, who is a B2B SaaS, to solve over 5,000 support tickets in total by now. So I started working with them last year in February, and up to 200 every single day. I'll show you exactly how we did that, so you can just copy it with this little Miro board I made. The client's problem. The client is making software registers or cash register systems for restaurants. And the problems they had was that the documentation they had was too big. 5,000 pages just in a single PDF, and way more on the web. So well over 5,000 pages, and each of these pages had multiple links on them as well, so it was way too big. And the problem they had was that none of their clients was looking in their documentation when they had a question, obviously, and none of their salespeople, when they were called up by a client for this question, were able to look in here as well, just because it was so much and would take hours to even find the right answer to a question. So questions wouldn't get answered properly, or it would take 1 or 2 weeks until a message could be responded to, because someone in their team had to look through 5,000 single pages of a documentation that were changing every day because they were developing the software. So they had massive insufficiency problems. And the desired outcome they had was that they could just give something to their clients or to their staff members, so that they had something that these problems could be solved quicker. That was either by the clients would actually look in the documentation and use the documentation to get all of their problems solved and get all of the questions answered by themselves, or something they could give to their staff so they could find the information in the documentation better and faster. Ideally, they wanted something they could do both. And so the strategy we developed was to create a system, create a software supported by AI that was capable of learning continuously from this documentation, and whenever a change would be made in the documentation by updating the tutorial for a feature or deleting a feature or whatever, whenever something was changed in documentation, the AI would notice that and continue to answer in the fashion of the now changed thing, feature, whatever. So an AI that could lead the staff members, that would work equally well for staff members and for clients, and lead them through certain conversations and certain processes to understand what does the person who's interacting with me want, and how can I best help him, and obviously provide the right information and lead them to the right source, what they're looking for. Step 1 was to gather and organize this documentation. So I showed you before, we had one single PDF document. They have this whole documentation on the web as well, with hundreds of different pages, and you would click for with a little this little arrow where you would click one, and then you could see all the other documents that were in that folder. You could do this clicking down for 20 times for every folder they had in the documentation. You could go 20 layers deep for every single point. And so we had to organize all of that and actually put it together so that we could train an AI on it. And that required, for example, to put all of this in different pieces. So the PDF itself was I believe, a gigabyte big of pure PDF pages, like a gigabyte. And I had to cut all of them down, which was a weekend of work, let's say, to put it all into different pieces that were small enough that I could actually feed an AI on the entire thing bit by bit. And so that was step 2 in all of this, designing and iterating the AI agent. And we did that, I can show you here, in BotPress. So let me pull up BotPress. Here we are in BotPress. This is our knowledge base where we uploaded every single thing that I had about them. And here is the logic behind it. So first we made a step that the AI would load by itself whenever the web page was loaded. And then it would give different options, which you can see here, that someone could choose from to go different paths in the AI. Obviously, it is possible to ask a question directly and to skip through all of that, but to give guidelines, because that is what most people wanted, to get some sort of an orientation in the documentation with the AI agent. And I will show you the agent in a moment. to get actually an idea for how this works, or how to navigate through it, what possibilities they had. They were giving different options. So they could say that they had interest in the company, or they had just some question about it, or they had a problem which would lead them to a support agent or to a support flow, which we had down here. So let's go from bottom, from top to bottom. If they had shown interest, then they were given an option of different products or of different features that this software had, or that their software has. They were giving a short info about this certain feature, so that the user understands, okay, this is what this is. And then they could ask a question, and this question then would get answered. And if there is no answer from the documentation, then there were a few fallbacks, so that the AI would look deeper or twice, so that it wouldn't hallucinate. But if the answer was in the knowledge base, then it would get answered, which all happens in here. This is pretty complex if you would try to rebuild it and get into it, but I just want to show you the logic of like how this works, so you understand what's possible with such chatbots. Okay, if they had just some question and they know what they wanted, then they were led to the same node where they could ask the question, and if there wasn't an answer in the knowledge base directly, then the agent would look in different places and more precisely, so look deeper in the knowledge base. And if still there was no answer found, then they would just give it to a human, so give contact data, so that they could then contact the support, and then the support could contact deeper, and then the support could look deeper into it, is what I mean, and actually answer the question then properly. But if it was in the documentation, then the chatbot was able to answer in just a few seconds, and the user could go about their day and not worry about it or be hung up on this question anymore. And then the last option, if they had an actual problem that they wanted solving with, we gave this to an extra AI who would ask them about the problem and then give a solution. And if the solution wasn't what they wanted, and it wasn't like good, or it didn't solve the problem anyhow, then it would give a second solution, or just explain the solution better, like give different options of what the issue could be, and then solve the problems. And if it still wasn't good enough, then it would give longer answers to give a better tutorial of like what to do. And if this still wasn't good enough, then there's a line of questions that the bot asked the user to really dig and understand the problem, try it once more, and if it then still didn't work, then it would hand it off to a human. Very well. And this is basically what happened here. So what I just told you about is what happened in all of these nodes. And then here in the end are just nodes to, if they couldn't solve it, every time when a question or a problem couldn't be solved, then they would lead it here to give this information to a human. This was just the regular end node. So, okay, conversation has ended, bye-bye. And this is just to once more, and this node here is just to once more give information about the business when a user would wanted to contact it and not talk to the AI. So that is what happened in here. This is how the chatbot works. So it starts off with an initial message, with an initial message. Oh my God. Okay. In this, right, and they would choose whatever we wanted. If we had shown interest, for example, they would give different options, and we could choose one of them, and we would get some information about this certain thing. And then we could say we have a question, and then we could just ask our question about whatever, and it would answer that question as well with sources from the knowledge base where he found this certain thing, so we could look for ourselves. So that was designing the flow. Step 3 was publishing it and putting it onto their website and training it for further iteration. Because when you build a chatbot and you publish a chatbot, it will not be perfect. You know this from software itself, probably. You build the software, you test it, you try everything out, and then you publish it to the world, and there's a bunch of users coming on, and you notice 1,000 more problems that need to be solved that you yourself didn't see. And it's the same with chatbots. You can build it as perfect as you want to. Whenever you publish it, there will be problems arising and things that you haven't seen, and so you will have to fix them. This is why first off you publish it as a beta version. So you write chatbot beta so the customers aren't too upset when there's some issues, but obviously they're quick to solve and everything, but you have to see the issue once to solve it. You know this from your own software development. Very cool. I will show you how this looks. I think I will blur out the name of the company for privacy reasons, but this is essentially how it looks. You can load the chatbot and it will like show this here, and you could do exactly what I just showed you in BotPress. So choose an option and then it will give an answer to this option, and this is how this works, right? So this is how it looks like. So that was publishing, training, and iteration. A lot of this is as well not really problems, but hey, we notice that the answers of the chatbot are really long, and we notice that our clients don't really read all of that, so we'd like them shorter. For example, others could say, hey, we would like these answers longer, so there's all of the information in there. This depends on individual preference, but such things as well are in the iteration part. And then which results did we get with this simple chatbot? Well, for one, we have about 400 to, okay, this was actually a low month, 400 to 500 or even above conversations every single month. So 500 to 600 people every single month who go in there and ask their questions and have their tickets solved. So you can see 400 in the last 30 days. It costs about $2 for these 30 days to have all of these LLMs run and answer all these questions. So decently, obviously, honestly. And then the last 3 months overview, here you can see that it was a total of 219 different sessions. So 219 tickets on September 29th. So just on that single day, 200 tickets that were solved by the chatbot. And so in short, what is everything that we learned if we start a chatbot project? First, we have to know the problem the problems that we have and that we want to have solved. We can't just do AI because we want to do AI. We need to know, okay, which problem are we solving? Because if we don't know which problem we're solving, then we can't develop the chatbot or the AI accordingly. So we have to be aware of the exact problems. And as well, we have to be aware of the exact outcome. If you start somewhere and you want to go somewhere, then you will never arrive because you haven't put a clear goal of where you want to go. So you'll never arrive because you don't know where you're going. If you know where you're going, then as well, you might have a problem that you never arrive there if you don't know where you are. So let's say you want to go to New York, but you have no idea where you are, then you will have trouble going to New York because you don't know which direction it is. Equally, if you're in New York and you want to go, like you don't know where you want to go, then you will equally never arrive because you haven't set yourself in a place where you would like to be or like you would like to go through. All of this to say, we need to know what the problem is and we need to know what the perfect end result would look like. And the strategy is basically just once we know this, we have to get all of the information that we want to train the AI on. Then we have to train and build the AI, how it works, how it behaves in which situation, and so on. And then step 3, we have to publish all of this, release it to the world, and see which problems are still there, what preferences we have of answers, and so on. And once we've done all of this and we iterated this, by the way, this is over time as well. So you know this from yourself, the software you develop, whichever it may be, you will have a bunch of developing costs and time that goes into development in the beginning of starting the business, starting to develop the software. But then once it reaches a certain point and you release it, and you still have some work to do to fix some things, then over time you won't just stop developing. You can't just fire all of your developers. There will be problems that occur from time to time that need fixing, and still you want to make the product better every time and over time, and fix certain things and add certain things and so on. So it still is development process, but just less than in the beginning, right? And then the results, obviously this depends on which AI you've built and how big your business is and so on, but you can get some pretty decent results. If this is on the front page of the website, if every website visitor sees this chatbot and is able to interact with it, then for one, Google will count all of this as interactions with your website, so you actually rank higher in the SEO ranking. And your customers are happier because they have all of their problems solved and all of their questions answered basically immediately. And you look innovative and cool. You look professional if you have an AI. It just looks more professional. By the way, if you want to have this whole template for the chatbot for free, then click the first link in the video description. There's a full tutorial on exactly how to build this chatbot, so you can just do it.